ask what's your sign, I mean what constellation was the sun in at the moment of your birth. The sun sign is important because it shows our basic character traits. Over the next few months, we'll cover the whole zodiac, but for now, let's talk about the sun in the sign of Leo. Leo is represented by the lion. This symbol seems straightforward, and in many ways it is. The lion is the king of the jungle who has a shiny mane and confidence to spare. At least that's what it's known for. The truth is, Leo isn't those things. It's born to become those things. And along the way, it draws and is drawn to millions of lessons that give it a chance to shine. If you're going to move center stage, you've got to think a lot of yourself, or think of yourself a lot. So that's what Leo does. They go big. They like to be a good influence and perform magnanimous acts. The lion believes it is favored by the gods and likes to pass that favor on. They expect loyalty and thanks for that too, and it means something if you believe in them as well. Leo likes to be in charge. I've noticed that female Leos never seem to think twice about working, administering the family, and making the decisions. Being behind the wheel comes as naturally to them as breathing. Basically, this sign has a hard time being submissive. It's difficult to find a Leo who is, and if you do, it's taken something enormous to break the lion spirit. You see, they covet that attention. Sometimes they get it covertly and sometimes overtly. But they always seem to draw others in because of their humor, theatrics, and certainty. The fifth sign is also associated with childhood. It embodies the unself-conscious creativity that you see in children who are too young to know they ought to be doubting and criticizing themselves. This is one of the best parts of Leo. They're playful. While Leo is learning to be the bright and shining thing it dreams of, that light also shines upon its imperfections. Among all the signs in the zodiac, even the other self-involved fire signs, Leo is the most focused on the self. It's what they dedicate their lives to, because within the self are some answers to nagging questions. How do I become the most self-actualized version of me? And how do I vanquish the parts of myself that cause me not to shine? Because the quest to shine is so insistent in Leo, it's in some dangerous territory when it comes to developing ego problems. In the quest for the brilliance Leo knows it's capable of, the lion can run off track big time and become an inflated jerk who draws as much attention as possible, but then has nothing authentic to say. It can be a blowhard who's always looking to an audience for validation. Sometimes they get that audience by using cheap drama. Leo goes around talking about how brilliant they are, boasts about what they've accomplished, and says how great it is for you to be in their company. Most Leos will find themselves in the egoic stratosphere from time to time, at least. So they should monitor this tendency or have someone around who quietly reminds them to be humble and then take that feedback seriously. The story associated with Leo begins with a boy named Parcel Ball who's born on an island. He doesn't know who his father is because his mother has held that information back on purpose. One day he's in the forest and a group of knights rides by. Parcel Ball starts talking to them. When he hears of their wonderful adventures, he decides that it's cool to be a knight and leaves with them. This is fitting because Leo's a fire sign and they're always thinking that there's something more exciting going on elsewhere. There's an everyday visionary in Leo, and in our story, Parcel Ball has a vision before he's even out of the forest. In it, there's a castle that gleams and is surrounded by jewels and gold. There's also a sick king who's got an open wound on his thigh. He undergoes a procedure where his poison blood is magically drawn out through the tip of a sword. Now enters a gorgeous woman who's holding a tray on which sits another sword and the mystical stone of alchemy. Parcel Ball is amazed by the whole spectacle. A question comes to him. But Parcel Ball's mother never wanted him to know his true identity, so she taught him never to ask obnoxious questions. The boy therefore lets the opportunity pass. At that moment, an angry voice fills his ears. It yells that he messed up bad. He was supposed to ask a question of the sick king that would have earned him the castle, the princess, and wealth beyond his wildest dreams. The question was, what does this mean? Parcel Ball comes back from the vision alone in the forest and feels stupid for not asking the question. He vows that one day he will find the Holy Grail. There's a Parcel Ball within every Leo that needs to go through life asking, what does this mean? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? These questions send Leo on a profoundly self-centered quest, a life in which they know how to heal the sick king within. Leo's notorious selfishness is really a need to know the self and win the castle, because Leo needs a world of brilliance and magic. If the lion doesn't ask these questions, it lacks vision, and like Parcel Ball is left cold and alone in a local forest that isn't thrilling. So it must go within. The optimal situation is a Leo whose questioning of the self leads to smart answers that result in a life in which all the best parts can shine. A Leo who hides light under a bushel is fundamentally unhappy. Because they do focus on themselves so much, they are genuinely concerned with their performance, and that performance has to be skilled. Its greatest fear is that it's too mediocre to be loved. If a Leo is not radiant, it has to admit that it has no heart and it's not brave. And that is way too painful. Deep down, Leo wants to be recognized for what it has earned and wants to hear that people are proud of them. Leo's ruling planet is the sun. The ruling god is Apollo, whose job it is to pull the sun through the sky and light up the earth. That ball of nuclear fire brings warmth and radiance and keeps shining no matter what. In the Roman pantheon, Apollo is known as the golden child. And on the gate of his temple is a fitting sentence, know thyself. That all sounds great. So what does the lion's shadow look like? The Leo shadow likes people to feel obligated. One of the ways in which this is accomplished is by giving but not receiving. So there's always a debt. We all know that the fire signs like to engage in grand gestures, but the shadow of Leo does it so they can remind others of that help. This shadow wants to be a big shot. They'll even use power to belittle or demean others. They're self-important and like to trample on the will of others to feel superior. They demand more attention than anyone can give. This Leo likes to feel special because being authentic and unique is too much work. They feel entitled to things they haven't earned. In short, the shadow of Leo is a brat. A healthy Leo, however, will be more welcoming and will provide more for family and friends than any other sign. All their enthusiasm and presence can be very exciting, and it can feel pretty good to stand in that corona. It should also be said that Leo wants a simple life. There are no shades of gray to the sun. It doesn't cycle like the moon. Leo would rather not explore the complexities of the human psyche. And they don't understand the nastiness and pettiness that exists in the world around them. For Leo to enjoy life, that low-level crap has to be kept at a minimum. Leo believes that life will never completely let them down. That would be hopeless, and hopelessness is unacceptable. A person without hope becomes a number and a nobody. Leo's too wrapped up in being Leo for that to happen. Any quest they engage in ends up being a quest to find themselves. Thank you for watching Secrets from an Astrologer's Desk, the personality profiles, Leo. I'm Joy, more videos to come. And do me a favor, like and subscribe, and keep watching. Ahead is all the ways you can get in touch for an in-depth, personalized birth chart reading.